It's Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and I'm going to continue in my series with connection to elemental consciousness. And I'm going to talk today about this piece of lapis lazuli hanging around my neck. Now, after I had the ET contact, I felt this heightened sense of awareness that I've never felt before. There was a TV show I remembered when I was a kid called The Greatest American Hero. And the plot was based on a school teacher, just an average Joe, an average mortal, who sees a UFO, and then the UFO makes contact with him, and the next thing you know, he's got these superhuman powers. He can take flight, has super strength, but he hasn't quite mastered the powers, because one of the themes is he always crashes and burns whenever he's trying to land from taking flight. But it's the theme of this human being who just gets this gift from something paranormal, something from beyond. And I felt like that actually happened to me. And I said, wow, maybe here we go with the predictive programming. That show was based off of a real situation that's happened to people here. And again, I started to get heightened mental faculties. My reflexes got faster. Psychic abilities started to come online that I never knew I had. And I'm not making any of this up. This is just my experience. This is as I am perceiving it. And again, I was so curious about all this, and I wanted to just know more. I wanted to understand more. I wanted to connect and ask questions to that consciousness I felt reach down into me and share so much with me. I kind of felt like my DNA leveled up here. And so that brought me to the quest for facilitation. And the lapis crystal, these crystals are found on crowns. And as I started to learn more, I went to the crystal shop. First of all, like, I was drawn to this specific crystal. The person there wanted to sell me another one, but something inside of me said, nope, this one is calling to me. This is a special crystal that is calling to me. And it did. It was the one that wanted to have a relationship with me. Now, as I was about to say, the lapis crystals were found on the crowns of kings and queens, as these crystals, again, they were believed to have heightened communication, to be able to open up the passage of communicating with the beyond, with divine, with something beyond the physical realm, to higher consciousness. So they were put in the crown. And Yvonne, she suggested I turn the crystal the other way and set it on my pineal gland, and sure enough, it worked like a transmitter, and it would transmit information from the subtle realm, and I was starting to get that on a more heightened wave in my experience. Now, kind of going away from the crystals, there's all kinds of narratives about UFOs and ETs and people who've had this contact. Because once I had it, I wanted to know if there were other people, and I wanted to know their experience. And I found there were so many who had similar types of experiences. And one of the beliefs is that these beings are not aliens, but they're actually other versions of ourselves. They are what versions of ourselves from another dimension that slips through, or versions of ourselves from the future who have traveled back in time. And I don't know, again, I can't say any of that's true. I can't say for sure, but I just know that whatever was reaching out to me, it had a love and respect for me, and it gave me a big boost. And again, another thing that kind of showed up on the other end is like when I went down this path of being curious about it, whenever you have something that shows up in a positive sense, you always have its shadow. And so the shadow of me kind of jumping into all this crystal work and then just really, again, wanting to contact this being, almost kind of like a needy child, wanting a parent. The program that was still running in my subconscious was a program of not being enough, feeling that my own process is not enough to become what I need to be. And so I even though I had this transcendental experience, that I have to go find it again. And so that process was showing up in me trying to force communication. And again, that's a theme, that feeling like I'm not enough and feeling like I have to have this extra thing was another revelation. And the difference is, whatever was out there, it does want to communicate with me. It has a relationship with me. And the message that I've been learning is, what's the organic way to facilitate that relationship? What is the, how does that being want to communicate with me? And what do I need to do to keep that practice? What is the true day-to-day practice that wants to show up in relation to this particular crystal and communication with higher beings? And so that's kind of where I'm coming for things today, is not trying to force anything. If I'm called to something like an elemental, I go in with curiosity, but I'm not going in to try to manipulate reality and bend it to my will to become master of the world and, manifest abundance. I'm looking at it more as the manifestation is going to be happening organically in my own process, as it is, as I'm being called to show up, is going to be enough. So with that being said, that's enough of this video. That's enough of me talking, and I'll be back for more. Hopefully there's someone out there who enjoys these. I feel called to do them right now, and so while I'm feeling called, that is my process for the moment. I say yes to it. And that being said, I will see you on the other side. Class dismissed.